Welcome to the deep dive. We sort through the noise, pull out the key insights from a whole stack of sources for you.
That's right.
Today, we're diving into a company that's really been setting the AI space alight, SoundHound AI.
Yeah, you've probably seen the headlines. Their stock, SOUN, has been, well, exploding after their recent earnings.
Exactly. But this isn't just about a stock chart going vertical. We want to get into the weeds, the voice AI technology itself, how it's actually being used, its real impact.
Right. So our mission today is to figure out what's really behind SoundHound's recent performance and, tackle that big question. Is this company potentially the next big voice AI giant? We've got a bunch of material to work with here, the latest financial reports, of course, but also a really interesting case study showing the tech in action.
Oh, the White Castle one.
That's the one. And also a pretty dense academic paper on intelligent speech processing to give us some technical background.
So the goal is really to give you, our listener, a shortcut, a way to understand this whole fast-moving sector, from the tech nuts and bolts to the market dynamics.
And what really kicked this off, the immediate spark, was that news.
Yeah.
SOUN stock just jumped. One report said 7% up in after hours. Another mentioned a 23% pre-market surge right after their Q2 earnings.
Which definitely gets investors and analysts talking, doesn't it? Is this just hype, or is there something more substantial going on?
Precisely.
Okay, so let's unpack those Q2 earnings then. SoundHound reported, was it $42.7 million in revenue?
That's right. And the striking thing there is the growth, 217% year over year. That just smashed analyst forecasts, which were around $32.9 million.
Wow, 217%. That's huge. It feels like more than just a good quarter. It's just maybe they're hitting a real stride,
It really does. Now, they did report losses, a net loss of $74.7 million. Non-GAAP was $11.9 million.
Okay.
But the adjusted earnings per share loss, ERS-032, was actually better than analysts expected.
Right, so the non-GAAP, that strips out some of the one-off costs or stock compensation, gives a clearer operational picture.
Exactly. It points to a company that's laser-focused on accelerating revenue, grabbing market share, even while they're still investing heavily in growth and R&D.
And they're clearly feeling confident about the future, too. Management raised their full-year 2025 revenue guidance, now looking at $160 million to $178 million.
Which is a strong signal, no doubt. They see a solid pipeline ahead.
So, beyond the financials, for listeners who might know the name SoundHound from maybe music recognition apps years ago, what exactly is SoundHound AI doing now? How have they pivoted?
Good question. They specialize now in voice AI technology, but really focused on tailored solutions for businesses, for enterprises.
Okay.
Their CEO, Keyvan Mohajer, he's highlighted their 20 years of innovation, their own IP stack. He even claimed their speech recognition engine beats Google's published benchmarks in dozens of languages.
That's quite a statement, competing directly with Google on benchmarks.
It is. It underscores their belief in their proprietary tech, especially for these more specific, demanding business applications rather than just general consumer voice assistants.
Okay, so if they're growing this fast, how are they planning to keep it going? The CEO talked about 3 core pillars for the business, right?
Yes, and understanding these pillars is pretty crucial to grasping their strategy.
Lay it out for us.
Okay, pillar 1, AI systems for devices. This is about putting branded voice assistants into hardware cars, smart TVs, all sorts of IoT gadgets.
So embedded AI, not just cloud calls.
Exactly. Their bet is that eventually every connected device will need a mic and people will prefer talking to them. They want to be the engine inside those devices.
Makes sense. What's pillar 2?
Pillar 2 is AI customer service, and this is actually the bigger part of their revenue now.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they're serving huge companies. I mentioned 7 of the top 10 financial institutions, but also small businesses like single location shops.
Wow, broad range.
Their belief is that AI for customer service will become as essential as Wi-Fi or electricity for basically every business.
A utility, almost.
Kind of, yeah. And the third pillar, that's the voice commerce ecosystem. This is where they try to connect the first 2 pillars.
How does that work?
Well, imagine using your car's voice assistant, powered by SoundHound, pillar 1, to pre-order coffee from a drive-thru that also uses SoundHound's AI system, pillar 2.
Ah, okay, connecting the dots.
Right. They call it a flywheel. It gets leads for the restaurant, it's convenient for the driver, and it creates these little transaction moments that they can monetize, potentially sharing revenue with the car maker. It's about owning that whole voice transaction loop.
That ecosystem idea sounds powerful if they can pull it off. Let's make this more concrete, though. You mentioned the White Castle case study.
Yes, it's a great example. White Castle, the classic fast food chain, was actually the first to widely roll out voice AI in their drive-thrus, and they partnered with SoundHound.
Why did they do it? What were the pain points they were trying to fix?
They were struggling. Huge growth in drive-through and takeout orders, which is great, but also facing major staffing shortages. It's a common story in QSR.
Yeah, you hear that a lot.
Their VP of Ops, Mike Ginnon, said staff were juggling like 5 jobs at once, not just the register.
Wow.
So you get overworked teams, longer waits, mistakes in orders, less time to actually interact nicely with customers.
Right. And the COO, Jeff Carper, specifically wanted to free up staff from just punching in orders.
Exactly. So they could actually talk to customers face-to-face at the pickup window, improve that experience. Another exec, Jamie Richardson, said they just needed more capacity and better accuracy for that drive-through boom.
So enter SoundHound's AI. They called it Julia, right? After their first hostess.
Yeah, nice little historical nod there. Julie is the AI voice assistant designed to take the orders.
And how sophisticated is she? Is it just basic order taking?
Apparently not. The case study mentions she knows all 72 ways to order a #1 combo.
72 ways.
Yeah, handling all the customizations, the hold the pickles, extra cheese, whatever. She's designed to understand natural language, however the customer says it.
Okay, that's pretty impressive. So what happened? What were the actual results for White Castle? Did it work?
The results seem pretty clear, according to the case study. First off, faster service.
How much faster?
Orders taken in under 60 seconds. Julia starts talking the moment the car pulls up. Orders go straight to the kitchen display system, no manual input delays.
And it can handle multiple orders at once.
Yes, that's a key point. It can process orders simultaneously, which is huge for managing those peak rushes.
That simultaneous processing, that must be a big advantage over simpler systems, right? Especially in a noisy drive-through.
Absolutely. It suggests pretty sophisticated handling of overlapping speech and context, which is where generic AI often falls down. And this leads to better service overall. Because the human employees at the pickup window aren't stressed about taking the next order. They can focus on greeting the customer, handling special requests, making sure the handoff is positive.
Improving that human touch point.
Exactly. A district manager, Tiffany Pfizer, actually said customers liked the consistency from Julia. No bad attitudes, just accurate service every time.
Consistency and accuracy, which leads to the next point, I guess. Higher order accuracy.
Precisely. Customers see the order on the screen as they speak. Julia confirms it back, and it goes directly to the point of sale system. Less chance for human error in transcription.
Makes sense. What about the impact on the staff themselves?
This was interesting. Less staff burnout and reduced turnover. Julia takes on the repetitive, high-pressure task of order taking.
Did the staff like it? Or did they feel replaced?
Well, Mike Ginnon shared this anecdote. When they took Julia offline for a few hours for maintenance, the team kept asking, "When is she coming back? We miss Julia."
Wow, they missed the AI.
Yeah. And Jeff Carper added, Julia never calls out sick. She gives the team energy. Think about that in an industry where, reportedly, half the staff can turn over every 90 days.
That anecdote is really telling, isn't it? It shifts the view from AI replacing jobs to AI supporting staff, maybe letting them do the more human parts of the job better.
It definitely points in that direction, enhancing the human role, not just automating it away. And one more big result, increased upselling.
Ah, the bottom line.
Right. Julia upsells 100% of the time. Apparently, the industry average for human staff is only around 42%.
Big difference.
Yeah, leading to a noticeable increase in the average check size. So it shows the AI isn't just efficient, it can actively drive revenue too.
So the White Castle example really paints a picture of how this specialized voice AI can impact operations, customer experience, employee satisfaction, and revenue. It's pretty compelling.
It definitely highlights the potential, yeah. Now, to understand how SoundHound achieves this, it helps to zoom out a bit and look at the tech itself, the evolution of speech processing.
Okay, give us the quick history lesson. Where did this tech come from?
Well, it started way back, 1960s, with rule-based systems, then statistical models. But the real leap, the game changer, came with deep learning.
Neural networks and all that.
Exactly. Deep neural networks, DNNs, convolutional ones, CNNs, recurrent ones, RNNs. These models could learn complex patterns from massive amounts of data and just dramatically cut down error rates in speech recognition.
So we went from, like, recognizing basic syllables in the 50s, which was very
All
rigid,
right, hard-coded rules.
to systems in the 80s and 90s that could
Yeah.
learn automatically from speech.
Yeah, handling more natural, continuous speech.
And now we've got AI that understands multiple languages, accents, even on your phone, dealing with background noise.
It's been a huge progression, and the academic paper we looked at breaks down the key ways these systems learn today.
Like different teaching methods for the AI.
Kind of. You've got supervised learning, which is the most common.
Yep.
You feed the AI tons of labeled examples. This audio means these words.
Got it. Learning by example.
Then there's self-supervised learning. This is clever. You give the AI a massive amount of unlabeled audio first. It learns general patterns of language and sound on its own.
Like learning the basic structure of language before getting specific translations.
Exactly. Then you fine-tune it with a smaller amount of labeled data for the specific task. It's very powerful when labeled data is scarce.
Okay. And there's a third one.
Semi-supervised learning. This mixes labeled and unlabeled data, often uses something called pseudo-labeling. The model makes its best guess on unlabeled data, creates a pseudo-label, and then learns from that too.
So it sort of teaches itself.
In a way, yeah. It helps leverage vast amounts of unlabeled audio that's out there. For a company like SoundHound, developing specialized AI for, say, noisy restaurants or specific car models, these advanced learning methods are probably critical. They might not always have perfect, huge labeled data sets for every single niche.
Makes sense. They need that flexibility. But even with all these advances, the field isn't perfect, right? The paper mentioned ongoing challenges.
Oh, absolutely. Significant hurdles remain for the entire industry. One big one is performance in complex environments.
Like the real world.
Pretty much. AI still struggles in very noisy places, homes with overlapping conversations, multiple people talking freely. Research often uses clean data, but on tougher real-world test sets, the error rates can still jump up significantly, maybe to like 24–25% word error rate.
That's a big gap. So for SoundHound, working in loud, dry thrusts or car cabins, overcoming that noise is absolutely crucial, isn't it? Their tech has to be robust.
It really does. That suggests they need very good noise cancellation, speaker separation, and acoustic models trained specifically on those kinds of messy real-world sounds. That's likely part of their secret sauce.
Well,
Low-resource languages. There just isn't much data for many of the world's languages, making good speech recognition really hard. That impacts global reach. Also, these systems are computationally intensive. Running them costs money and energy, especially for real-time inference. Making models smaller, more efficient, lightweight is key, especially for embedding them on devices like SoundHound does.
right, you can't put a giant supercomputer in every car.
Not yet, anyway. And finally, for systems that use video too, like lip reading, they need better robustness to missing visual data. If the camera view is blocked or the video is bad, performance can plummet. These are tough, ongoing research problems for everyone in the field.
And beyond the purely technical stuff, the paper also brought up some important societal issues, right? Ethical and legal considerations.
Yes, and these apply across the board as voice AI becomes more pervasive. Three main areas stood out. First, data privacy and security.
Makes sense. You're collecting voice data.
Lots of it, which inherently raises privacy risks. So the industry needs strong anonymization, encryption, secure storage, and clear compliance with data protection laws. Ensuring data is authentic, traceable, properly licensed, that's fundamental.
Okay, privacy first. What's second?
Algorithmic bias and discrimination. This is a big one. If the data used to train the AI is biased, say, it underrepresents certain accents, genders, or ethnicities, the AI can learn and even amplify those biases.
Leading to unfair results, like the system works better for some people than others.
Exactly. The paper cites that infamous example of Microsoft's Tay chatbot, which turned toxic really fast because it learned from biased interactions online.
Right, I remember that.
So tackling this means really careful data curation, ensuring diversity, using fair evaluation methods, auditing the algorithms regularly. It's a constant effort for the whole industry.
A critical responsibility for anyone building AI that interacts with the public.
Mm.
And the third point.
Responsibility and accountability. When an AI system makes a mistake or causes harm, who's liable? Is it the AI, the developer, the company using it, the user?
Yeah, that gets complicated fast.
It really does. The paper mentions there are already dozens of legal disputes every year over voice recognition errors, and figuring out responsibility is often unclear. So we need clear mechanisms for accountability as these systems become more integrated into our lives. It requires cooperation between governments, companies, researchers, everyone.
And it's really important to stress, These challenges, privacy, bias, accountability, these aren't unique to SoundHound. They're industry-wide issues that everyone working in speech AI is grappling with. We're just reporting what the sources highlight as key areas of concern for the field.
Absolutely. It's the context in which SoundHound operates. Now, speaking of operating, let's talk about their market position. They've got some huge competitors, right?
Yeah, the giants.
Yeah.
Amazon's Alexa, Google Assistant, Microsoft's Cortana, they have massive reach, especially in consumer tech.
Stiff competition, no doubt.
But it seems SoundHound is trying to differentiate itself by focusing on customizing models for specific businesses. And that embedded AI angle.
That seems to be their key strategy. Provide deeper, more accurate solutions for specific industry verticals, restaurants, cars, finance, where a generic assistant might fall short. They're carving out a niche identity.
They're not trying to be everything to everyone.
Exactly. And they're fueling this growth strategically through acquisitions. Their CFO called it programmatic M&A. Meaning they're consistently buying other companies to speed things up, expand their reach, get into new areas faster.
Like who have they bought recently?
Well, SYN Q3 Restaurant Solutions makes sense for the drive-through focus. An online ordering platform called Allset, building out that voice commerce piece.
Okay.
And the big recent one was Amelia, a conversational AI platform. That deal alone is expected to add something like $45 million in recurring AI software revenue in 2025.
Wow, so they're buying significant revenue streams too. And what about their order backlog? You mentioned that earlier.
Right. The backlog is reportedly near $1.2 billion now.
That's a lot. What does a backlog that big actually tell us?
It's a strong indicator of future contracted business. It shows that major clients, especially in those key automotive and restaurant sectors, are signing long-term deals, locking in revenue for SoundHound down the road. It signals real customer commitment.
Okay, so strong growth, strategic acquisitions, big backlog. What about the stock itself? From an investor perspective, you mentioned volatility.
Definitely volatile. I mean, up over 575% in 2024, then down almost 50% year-to-date in 2025 before this latest Q2 pop. That's a roller coaster.
And evaluation.
Its forward price-to-sales ratio is around 20x, which is, pretty high. Typical software stocks might be more in the 10-20x range, so high expectations are definitely baked into the current price.
Interesting to see the different players reacting. We saw a note that Representative Cleo Fields bought some SOUN stock back in July, up to $15,000 worth.
Yeah, public filings show that. On the flip side, though, insider trading reports show, well, a lot of selling by insiders. Yeah, over the last 6 months, insiders, including the CEO, Kivan Mohajer, who sold over $4.9 million worth, and other execs made 28 sales of stock. And 0 insider purchases reported in that time. Millions of dollars worth sold.
That's often seen as a bearish signal, isn't it? Insider selling.
It can be, yeah. Or it could be diversification, pre-planned sales. Hard to know the exact reason. But then you look at the big institutions.
What are they doing?
In Q1 2025, some major players made huge increases. Bank of America boosted its holdings by almost 880%. Morgan Stanley up 225%. D.E. Shaw started a brand new position.
So big banks are buying heavily.
Significant buying, yes. Though conversely, Rockefeller Capital Management sold off almost all of its shares, like 98%.
So it's a mixed picture, but leaning towards optimistic from the big money, despite those insider sales.
Seems that way. And Wall Street analysts, mostly positive. 3 firms with buy or outperform ratings, no sell ratings currently. The median price target is $13.50, with a range from $10 up to $18.
Okay, which brings us back to that big question everyone's asking after the stock surge. Could SoundHound AI actually hit $100 a share in, say, 10 years? Is that 10x return potential realistic?
Well, one analysis tried to break that down. To get to $100, assuming the share count stays roughly stable, their revenue would need to grow quite dramatically, from around the $100 million expected for full year 2024 to something like $1 billion over the next decade.
Okay, that's a tenfold increase in revenue. What kind of growth rate is that?
It works out to a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR, of about 26% per year, every year, for 10 years.
Is that achievable? What's their recent growth been like?
Well, as we said, Q1 growth was 151%. Their guidance for this year suggests around 97% growth. So currently, they are way above that 26% threshold.
So the potential is there if they maintain strong momentum.
If they can keep executing, yes. The market opportunity is certainly large. That voice commerce market is estimated at $35 billion. The main risk, as we've discussed, is probably that intensifying competition from the tech giants.
If Google or Amazon decide to really target these enterprise niches more aggressively.
Exactly. That's the key threat.
So recapping, SoundHound's recent revenue explosion is undeniable. Their strategy focusing on customized enterprise AI, especially embedded solutions, seems smart. The White Castle case shows it can work powerfully in the real world.
Right, but we also have the broader context. The ongoing technical challenges in speech AI, the critical ethical considerations like privacy and bias, and, of course, that intense competition. Plus, the mixed signals from insider selling versus institutional buying.
It's definitely not a simple picture. Innovation, as you said, is rarely a straight line. There's huge potential here, but also significant hurdles.
That flywheel ecosystem they envision, connecting devices and services through voice commerce, it's ambitious.
So thinking about all this, the growth, the strategy, the M&A, the competition, the market dynamics, how do you think SoundHound navigates the next few years? What really stands out to you, the listener, as their biggest advantage on this path? Or perhaps their most formidable challenge as they try to solidify their spot and maybe, just maybe, become that next voice AI giant?